Hello everyone, I'm Retsam and this is going to be a quick video about one of my mods, Retsam's Construction Pack. You can find it over on Nexus Mods at the URL at the bottom of the screen. The purpose of this video is to do a quick introduction because this particular mod adds literally hundreds of objects to the workshop menu, and it's rather overwhelming to try to make screenshots of everything to convey all the different aspects of this mod. So thought I'd try to do a video. Um, First time I've done a video, so it's going to be rather primitive, but bear with me. Hopefully at least you'll get the gist of things and can go play and enjoy. And I probably should mention it's a Fallout 4 mod. It's rather relevant, isn't it? Alright, so let's hop over to the game and go ahead and take a look. Here we are in Sanctuary. I picked this as a starting point because this is a good vantage point to see several buildings in. Yes, Preston, I hear you. Um, to see the structures that you can make with this mod. Okay, we're not going to deep dive into building. There's dirt around the tree. A little park. Again, these are all parts from the mod. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. That's coming over here so we could have this white background. So in the construction menu, you'll find my stuff under structures. Same place where you have all these default categories. Mine should be at the end. Be a good point to go ahead and mention if you don't see mine, you most likely have a mod conflict going on, and that's beyond the topic for this video. It's already happened, and I'm sure it's going to happen many times. It's just the way things work. Check the site and see if we have any information if you have that problem. Okay, I'm not going to go into that anymore. All right. The way my menu items are set up is these first sections are by material. So we have wood, clean concrete, driveway concrete, castle concrete, covenant style cinder blocks, red brick, I call it stone, church stone, old stone, dirt, brown grass, green grass, and then we have some other categories like columns and posts, braces and stands, frames and trims, handrails, stairs and steps. We'll look at those a little bit in just a minute. Let's go to the concrete section because that's where we have the most content. Move up one, we're looking at the foundations. Okay. First thing you'll notice is sizes. I have a variety of sizes that are not available in your default game. This one is a 256 by 512, which is basically, you can think of that like a double foundation. And then this is a 128 by 256, so that would be a half. 256 is the standard, 256 by 256. Then I have a gargantuan 512 by 512. I have corner blocks, which I'll talk about more in just a moment. And then there's another corner block. The floor pieces, pretty explanatory. Again, one thing you'll notice is a variety of sizes that you don't have in your default game. And also, we have some with trim and different material swaps, like the dirty concrete. And we have the corners. The way this menu is organized is by the thickness. So all of these are 14 thick, which is equal to a floor. I think in your default concrete menu, it's just called mid-floor. When you get to the end of the mid-floor, or the 14s as I call them, then you have the 28s, which is obviously double thick, right? It's the floor, or rather it's the ceiling and then the floor combined into one part. Upper floor is what the game calls it. So the bottom side satisfies your roof requirements for beds, the top satisfies floor requirements for also beds or for AI pathing. Gap fillers. Now that's one that's going to require some explanation, and I will take a little bit of time in this video to go ahead and talk about that some. Let me just go ahead and delete that piece. So we see here we have a building, right? It's got a foundation, then you have a wall and a wall. This is kind of the normal way of building stuff. The thing is when you put them like that, and then you put a foundation block and a foundation block, and let's use some of the different textures so it's obvious. If you were to try to just drop a regular foundation block in here, either way that you put it, you end up with a gap that's equal to the thickness of that wall. If we come out here, you know, we have it. So that gap is what started this mod, quite literally. It annoyed me so much because I do all my buildings with concrete walls. I started out using the game's default concrete walls, but this problem still exists. So introducing the gap filler, and they solved that. They are all 32 wide in a variety of lengths and in heights. So like the tall ones, if you were to have a big space that's being shown from a foundation block or something, if you have a big foundation block above ground or something, they are of course nav meshed, and they solve that gap problem. Okay, you can see them here. If you can see that highlight, if it shows up in the video, you can see I used them here. Extends all the way out. Let's go ahead and use the wood for this part. So I have a series of floors and foundations that they'll have the keyword corner in them, and they're 288 by 288. They have that gap filler pre-built, so you don't have to use an extra gap filler. You can use one of these, and as you can see, it fills in the space completely. This particular wood one, you know, it has the grain going that way. If you can see it, there is an arrow that shows up when you have the object selected. Alright, that arrow should be pointing to the corner of the building. Now with the wood one, it's pretty obvious where it goes, but when you're doing one like the clean concrete, it's not obvious. Right? You don't know where it needs to go. If I pick the right ones, y'all can see it. But see, we know that it has to go that direction. You can totally mess with them and get them to snap in the wrong direction, like that. So you see it snapped in, but the arrow's pointing the wrong direction. That could easily cause you problems later if you were going to add more pieces to this, and that's because of the connection points. If you wanted to add on to this piece, it worked because I already have this in place, but if I was to take this and try to snap on one of my handrails or trim, it won't work. So save yourself some grief. Make sure you got that arrow pointing the right direction, and then other parts will snap to it as designed. Alright, enough of that one. Walls, pretty explanatory. Again, a variety of sizes, like this little tiny guy right here. Get very creative with the variety of sizes and walls. And in fact, if we run out here right quick, we see that's how I made these little knee walls right here. And down here, I have a little planter, right? So these are my curved caps that y'all see in just a moment. And here I've put in my brown grass foundation pieces, my 128s, and I got some trees growing in there. There's somebody inside the wall. A little bit of reality break there, but hey, that's Bethesda, right? Alright. Yeah, metal trim. So one thing I like bragging about, I'll just be honest, that's exactly what it is. If we take the gun, you see here when we shoot the metal, everybody complains. We get a metal impact. Shoot concrete, you get a concrete impact. That's true for most of my parts, but one notable exception is this one, the doorway. I had some trouble with this one. So my brag fails on this one. As you can see, the metal is still giving us a concrete impact. I've got to circle back and rework that. It won't break your game. That's literally all it is the effect there. And even if I make a change and you've used these parts, it won't break your game when I do an update. So don't stress. It's just I got to be honest about, and my stuff isn't perfect. I think that's the highlight of those. Oh, this one. Let's go ahead and talk about this. So, as you can see, I'm running into this fence, and it's working like a fence, like you would expect it to, right? Come from this side. Oops, and it goes right through. I goofed when I was making the collision physics, and I got it on one side, but not the other side. I did not realize it until much later. I already had it in several places in the game. And I ended up leaving it because it's kind of an unintentional cheat that, to be quite honest, I like it. See what's happening? We're shooting, we're hitting metal, right? So that's the bad guys. But now we're shooting out, and we can come out and shoot, right? So, kind of fun. Actually, here we are, live on a video. I'm making a liar out of myself. It is blocking the bullets. It doesn't block the player, but it blocks the bullets. Oh, I was not even aware of that, folks. Okay. I'm telling you, sometimes I was working on this thing at 4 o'clock in the morning, and so I get loopy. The end caps, they're actually corners, okay? So let's get this mess out of the way. This piece that was originally stuck here, that is one of my end caps. That's the angled one. And I like using them for what you see, being able to stick a light on the corner of a building. But as you can see, they stand alone as well. We have the quarter round, the angled. The half round actually does not fit in the corners. It's designed to go onto the edge of a wall. Like that. There's also a horizontal one. You may have seen it earlier in the video that you can put on top of a wall so you get a rounded top. Let's speed things up a bit here. We have the corner, right? And then we have a corner with metal trim. Okay. Alright, the wall caps, and those, let's go over here. This will be easier. So first of all, the name is a bit misleading because they actually, well, there's one piece that's an exception, but they, for the most part, they snap to floors. Those pieces are how I made the rounded corners that you can see on the building here. This is one of them also. Okay. I hate that bush. Alright, there we are. The reason I call them wall top caps, you might be saying, well, they stick on floors, why'd you call them walls? Alright. It's because that design we were just looking at is a balcony type design. But here is a regular roof design, and there we have those pieces. That's what gave us this sloped roof. And you'll notice there's also corner pieces and a variety of those corner pieces that match whatever you used vertically in that corner there. So whether you used an angled one, curved one, round, square, pretty much whatever you need. But yeah, they snap to the edges of floors for the most part. Like that. So they're on the top of the wall. That's what you're seeing right there. So that's why I call them wall top caps. but they're actually snapping to the floors. Now that you know that, you can probably use them a little bit better. And I've already explained that these are the corner pieces, you know, to match up with whatever you use vertically. Wedges, I love these things. I use them everywhere. That's what all of these are. It's my answer to the AI pathing bottleneck that happens with stairs. You put these ramps up and your tunes will walk up anywhere they want to. Enough said, really. They're in a variety of sizes, and by sizes they're in different widths and different heights, plus the gap filler. Okay, so let's look. Should be one. Where am I at? This building didn't use one. Yeah, here we have it. There's a gap filler width right there. Okay. You'll find that gap filler concept in a lot of my parts, like the metal trim or handrails. Let's go ahead and speed things up again. I think I've said that already. There's one of those round top caps. And yes, my graphic work is subpar. 5 months ago was the first time I even opened Blender. I'm doing the best I can. Again, you know, don't get mad at me. Don't open a ticket. It is what it is. The parts work. They look great. And after the first 30 minutes of installing them, most of the time you never even look at those things again anyway. But I will improve things as I learn and get more experience. I'll improve them. What I'm trying to do now is get a good vantage point to talk about some of this other stuff here. I will go ahead and touch on this. So in the dirt, and then we have brown grass, and we have green grass. This is going to apply to all of them. Let's just grab a foundation piece. They have dirt attributes, okay? And what that means is it will satisfy dirt requirements for whatever. You can drop plants in them or water pumps. Recently acquired Mechanist Layer and discovered that they work there also. You can put them in Mechanist Layer and have pumps. And my particular pumps I've modified. I haven't made a mod for that yet. I keep saying I'll do it, but I put snap points on my pumps so I can line them up all nice and precise. Did the same thing with the beds and the vendor's sales counters, but that's going to be a different mod. So only the point that I'm showing you here is that the dirt grass series satisfies dirt requirements. Columns, pretty explanatory, self-explanatory I should say. You have a variety of choices. You've got like the, right there's going to block this. You got a metal pole, you got a variety of wood poles. They have snap points on them. I've already used up most of the snap points on the bottom side of this thing here, but there's one I can use. As you can see, they snap to the underside of floors, and depending on which one you pick, like this one snaps between floors and ceilings. They're just there to play with, give you some visual stuff. We have the round concrete. They have snap points and will stack. I think I forgot to mention my foundation blocks are the same way. They have stacking snap points. But what I made these for and what I use them for, more than anything, is for sticking turrets on. I will go ahead and tell you, it's tricky. It's incredibly annoying. Yep, see, it won't go. When you have trouble, move the column. I do not know what is being registered as a collision, but you see now it went on. And then you just group select. I'm on the PC, so I'm just holding down the Enter key. And then you can pick them both up, and now you can go put it wherever you want. I love doing this because I can put these things where they have a high vantage point. Now, obviously, most of my buildings I put turrets on it, but that's just another option. Enough of that. And have it in different materials. We have a couple of columns here that I just blatantly took right out of the vanilla files. Gave you a menu item so you can build them. A lot of mods are nothing more than that right there. Okay. Back to wood poles, we have some nice double poles. Again, it's not going to snap up under this floor. I've used everything, but you can drop it out in the yard. You can see they do snap. You gotta trust me on that one. They work great. Again, we have some different lengths. I used a bunch of those over in Abernathie Farm. Alright. The braces and stands. If you've noticed, what I'm running around with right now is the classic Covenant turret stand. It snaps to pretty much walls, anywhere, and set a turret on there if you want to. These little angle braces I just made for fun, visual realism. It's a wood and a metal right angle 45-degree brace. They have snap points on the top. I don't know if I'll be able to show it to you right here. It's just top of the floor. Alright, there we go. So they actually have snap points on that top plate, and they will snap to the underside of my floors. It's going to make a liar out of me. It's not going to do it here. So it's kind of hit and miss. Again, we're being honest about things. Some of my floors they will snap to, and then as you just saw, some of them they won't. It's because of that place anywhere. And if I can ever come up with a better solution for that, I'll certainly update things. I'm running over here because I think here I'll be able to show you better. Let's see here. I apologize if this is going to take a long time. I'll pause this video. Alright. We're good. If you're able to hear it, it's clicking. So a way that I use these braces a lot is on building corners just like this. And because of that, the gap fillers and the corner blocks have a custom connection point on the bottom that these things will snap to. Boom. And then that way, on all my building corners, I can quickly run around, boom, and put these things in. It just adds some visual touch there. I like it. That's why I made them. I like it. Alright, the frames, they're metal frames. So the first thing to mention is the thickness. These are 14 that I'm running around with, and as you can see, they're in a variety of sizes, dimensions. And we have this little vertical one I made messing around. It's kind of like a window grate. Only made one. I wanted it in a building. The thing with these are the 28s, right? So here's the usage of them. I made a skylight with them. They do not have glass. It's kind of on my long punch list to make glass for these, but I have not done it. So they're there as they are for you to do whatever you want to. I've used them in a couple of places for things like this, making a little skylight or a hole in the floor to go around some pipe or something like that. These I use a lot. This is what I call the trim, the frame trim. And you can see I use them quite a bit around my second floor balconies. See, there's one. There is the gap filler concept again. Whenever you see something that's labeled with a 32 most likely, like right here, 32 by 6. Most likely its intended purpose is to be somewhere along the corner of your buildings as the gap filler, because we have a full piece here, then the gap filler, and then it works out to full pieces, and then a gap filler again. To build it like I have right here, you have to install the handrails first, then put the trim on. If you try to do it the other way around, your connection points won't work. And I love doing this. See, we get a metal impact. Alright. The handrails. The handrails, well, these things could be a mod all on their own, really. You have left, right, center, and gap filler. And then you've got 4 that have animation on them. And I can tell you that your tunes will definitely use them. They'll prop up on the handrails in 4 different poses, which are explained in the description. But like I was telling you, you got to put them on first, and then put the trim on. It's not playtime, or we'd probably see them using it somewhere. Stairs and steps. These are, well, these right here are just the vanilla steps that I just put a material swap on. You'll recognize them from the concrete section. We have a couple of pieces of sidewalk. They're a bit of a failure, really. I have a really hard time getting them to place where they look decently. They don't snap in the ground nicely. They don't follow the contours of the ground. I actually ended up not using them. They do snap to each other, as you can see. Alright, so I left them if anybody wants to play with them. I'm sure someone creative can come up with some fun uses for them, but I wasn't terribly happy with them. I don't think I even put, I might put connection points on this big one so it snaps like that. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, I'm not a professional videoer, am I? Alright, so these are the pre-war sanctuary steps, and we can actually see it installed right here. They do have floor snap points. They'll snap to the floor snap points that are on this wall. So basically they'll snap to a wall, threshold, floor, whatever you want to call it. We have the big steps, which I have in clean concrete and stone. And I'm running over here to show you, if you didn't notice it, it's those. And these wing walls, by the way, if I highlight them, you can see the difference. So there's the 64 by 256. And there's a full wall, and then there's a 223 high, 223 by 128 wide. So you have a lot of build options there. And that's pretty much the end of the list. It wasn't a terribly fast video, but I kind of wanted to give you a really good idea of the different things that you can do with this mod. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in this mod. It's mods in a mod. It's more like an expansion pack. I've spent months working on this thing, and as you can see, I'm still finding things that need improvement. So there you go. Be sure to go to this URL over on Nexus Mods. I have a few other mods as well. I didn't even point them out in the video, but those rooftop gardens, that's one of my mods also. The planters, Retsam's Better Planters. They snap 2 floors in each other. They work very well. So anyway, that's all, folks. Have fun. Endorse the mod if you like it, and see you in the game.